Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome. Let me tell you, it's been a busy, busy few weeks. I've had the pleasure of working in elections, and let me just get everybody out there. We are in Canada. We got to vote, get out there and do what you need to do to make change in our communities. And so, if you haven't, just remember April 28th is going to be the voting day. Want to welcome you to Business Weekly, the show where we unpack what's going on. We unpack the strategies, we talk about the shifts that are happening in business, and what are the stories that are shaping modern day entrepreneurship. I'm Ms.Jai, your hostess with the mostest, your drip strategist, and your boss methodologist. And today we're going to be focusing on going global. Now, I know that as CEOs, we all want to have empires. I mean, that's what I base my whole business practice on, is helping people to build empires. So if you are a business builder, please reach out to me here on the show. You can come out, we can talk, you can book, we can have a complimentary call, whatever your pleasure. Just let's get started. Welcome to Love the Afrobeat Music Talk Radio, where we host weekly business topics. And as we know, going global, like I just said, is one of the things that we all want to do. We all have dreams to have big businesses. And if you don't, no problem. But I like to work with people who have big, big dreams. So the question you want to ask yourself is, what are some of the things that you have to think about when you go global? Well, I know I always give a few points and I never fail. I never fail. But I'm going to talk for a few minutes about some of the things that you want to consider. So one of the things you want to consider is the market. Now, we talked about marketing all the time. We talk about target market, your segmentation. We talk about your avatar. Who are you talking to? But it's really important that you remind yourself that scaling a business, whether it's laterally or vertically, you're going to think about how much people are really interested in that product in order for you to scale. Now, when I started doing business, and this is a long time ago, long time that I've been working on business, one of the things I learned was you have to understand what's happening in your industry in the time that you're trying to expand. So if you take a moment to really sit down and think about the products that you're selling, one of the things I urge all my clients to do is to check out your cash flow. Do you know what a cash flow is? Well, a cash flow is something that keeps monthly reports on how your money is going in and out of your company, known as your revenues and your expenses. Knowing these things will help you to determine when you should go global. There's things you need to factor in, like the supply chain, the transportation, the packaging, the shipping, the handling, what things are going to cost, the taxes that come with it. We now know we're living in a world of tariffs. And so you got to figure that out too. What's going to work for you? And so part of that research is determining whether or not the market is big enough. Now, if you look at every company that has done something grandiose, it all started, like, for example, Apple started in a garage. Nike started selling shoes that nobody wanted until, they signed Michael Jordan. And they knew when to scale, and they started scaling their business by bringing in more athletes. And that became their signature. They said to themselves, hey, we got to figure out a way to have people wear our shoes. And that's what they did. And that went global. So there's nowhere in the world that you can't hear about Nike. And so when you're thinking about your business, you want to be asking yourself some of those similar questions. Do you have the fortitude? Do you have the foundational, whether it's financial, whether it's knowledge, the skill, or the capacity? Now, remember, DRIP stands for Drive, Resilience, Innovation, and Progression. And at the end of the day, we know we're all trying to achieve that. In order to do so, we have to really think about some key things. Do I have the dollars? Does my inventory reflect the ability to scale? Do you have the manpower? A lot of times we take on too much, and I've been super, accountable for that. I can tell you, I used to take on way too much, try to build big and build fast, but then I realized that it's not really working, because why? Things start to fall between the cracks. It happens to the best of us, yes, but over time, you understand how to get where you need to be. Today, I'm going to be having this discussion with a CEO who is going to be sharing her chronicles of going into a global market. Now, mind you, you don't have to be making gajillions of dollars to go global. But you do have to understand the market and better yet have the contacts within the countries that you'd like to expand to, because it's going to give you some insights that you wouldn't know on a daily basis. So the person that I'm bringing on today is amazing. She's not only one of my clients. Yes, all the people that you see me bring on here are people that I work with, but some not, but most are. But she owns a cultural boutique with the mission of grounding the work of African creators and enhancing their global visibility. The visionary and founder is Adesuwa Joe Campbell, who purveys the products directly from Africa, thereby serving as a vital link between the continent's rich traditions and the contemporary consumers who value cultural excellence. This boutique specializes in authentically handmade products. I'm going to say that again, authentically handmade products. I saw the videos that she puts out there. If you really follow her page, and you should, go to Empressing at Empressing on IG, and you will get to see some of the stories of these great designers who are bringing us value. And with those rich traditions and that value of excellence, this boutique specializes in making sure that these authentically handmade products crafted by skilled artisans from various regions of the African continent. So her curated collections, they encompass home and office decor, accessories, and body adornments. Let me tell you, get some on. I usually wear them on my show. Today, I'm actually wearing Yaga My Lock. Shout out to the hustle. Yes, I was feeling it today. I had to wear my hustle earrings because I was in grind mode today. But she has an amazing, I have on her waist beads, which tells me to stop eating, literally. And with them, all of the things that she brings, they represent a distinct narrative of heritage, craftsmanship, and cultural pride. When you hear something like that, I know you can't wait to speak to Adesuwa. So without further ado, please welcome Adesuwa Joe Campbell to Business Weekly.
Good evening, everyone.
Hey, Aquaba, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I was moving so fast like lightning today that I didn't even get a chance to tell the ladies that we're on. And so guess what? Just did. Just did.
That's the same kind of day I've been having.
Oh my. Right. And I mean, you were flying, jet setting all over Africa, bringing and purveying and curating, honey. Yes. Love. So introduce yourself a little more. Tell us why you got into decor and accessories, and what the love. I know you have a massive love. You have a tattoo of Africa.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, talk to us a little bit as to
everything. I eat, breathe, everything African.
Yeah. So talk to the people. Let us know, what was the motivation behind it all?
Okay, so first of all, I'm Adesuwa Joe, as I've been introduced, but my name Adesuwa means in the midst of prosperity. So part of why I do what I do is I was finding it hard to find things that represented me and my culture. And when I did find it, it wasn't authentic. It was either locally made, but stating it was from the motherland, or made in China, and that's not authentic. So I figure I would start, and I had started with perpetual calendars, but there was nothing really sitting here that was speaking about the continent and the people within the African diaspora. So I then switched gears. I pivoted and said, why not do something that I love? So I'm doing it one step at a time and bringing bits and bits. And most importantly, I'm listening to what the people want, not what I want to give you.
Oh, I'm so proud to hear that.
What people would
I feel like I had to slam that in y'all's head for a bit. Like, come on, it's not about you, it's about the people.
Yes, correct.
But you listened.
Yeah, I listened.
That's being coachable. For those who are just tuning in, welcome to Love Bay. If you're just tuning in, we have Adesuwa Joe Campbell here sharing some insights about going global with her business. So if you let people know, them know you're on. If you are someone who loves African tradition, the heritage, the culture, this is the show to watch. So keep going, girl. Let people know. Let people know.
Okay, so where do you want me to reintroduce? What do you want me to say?
No, girl. You ready to move on? You ready to talk? You ready to get into this business?
Okay, well, let me just say, first of all, my mission, which is very important, is to showcase the footprint of African artisans so that not only locally where they're from, it will start expanding out and go globally, because there's so much beauty in Africa and nobody really sees it. What they see on TV is feed the starving, flies in the eyes, pot bellies. And actually, in Africa, some of them are doing better than us. Okay, so
way better than us.
Yes, exactly.
These movies, these sets are getting real,
right? So I want to be there at some point in time, very, very soon, right? As I said, I'm close to retirement, so I want to be able to go and come back, and then also share the beauty not only of my products but the country with friends, family, and beyond.
Great. I'm going to be a real queen to queen for you right now and tell you to center yourself in the screen. Yeah, because you're going to hate yourself when you play the playback.
Oh.
You're all the way over here like this, like, tell people about your life.
Okay. Okay, is it good?
There you are. Yes.
Oh, yeah, because I was only seeing a piece of the screen.
That's it. So I was like,
you.
I'm gonna have to straighten this girl's crown.
Thank you.
I love that. I love that. So what motivated you to take your business to an international level?
Well, again, I love the culture, but it was hard to find it here. The fact that I love to travel as well. So I've born and raised in Toronto, Canada. So I'm completely Canadian with West Indian parentage. But of course, being Black, I have African blood in me. So I'd started with the DNA to find out where exactly am I from. I traced it by DNA. Then I've been to 2 out of the 4 that says is in my blood. So I've been to Nigeria twice, Ghana 3 times, with Ghana holding a very important key in my heart. And there's so much to show that I figure, why not go? And instead of only having somebody on the ground to find the stuff for me, why not get hands-on, get dirty, and find the stuff I like? And that's where I found a lot of hidden treasures by going myself.
So those are what I'm hearing is that you saw opportunities to bring direct to market, right? Instead of it just being a middle person or trying to, find these things, you actually wanted to get out there.
Yes.
And talk. When you were talking, like when you were on this journey of expansion, what did you feel was the biggest challenge, like being in a country and looking for these designers?
Well, I think first of all, I wouldn't say the biggest thing that stopped me, but the main reason why I went was more to find out more about me, to find out who I am, my heritage, my culture, and find who is actually Adesuwa. And while out on the streets or in a mall or a restaurant, then I began to really open my eyes and say, oh my gosh, I didn't see that. And I was here 2 days ago. So, small little things like that you can bring back and have not only like a little 5 cent and say, oh, look what I got, to actually have the story behind certain things. And when somebody tells you that 7 generations ago, this is what happened, it's very, very important.
Yes. Well, your big little brother.
Hey, my baby brother. Hi.
How you doing, Adrian? He said, I'm so proud of my big sister. Oh, I love that. And we got Brooklyn Bullfog.
Oh, that's my husband. Hey, babes.
Oh, Brooklyn.
Hey, babes. Hey, yeah.
He's watching all the way from Ghana. That's what we're talking about. Right? That's what we're talking about. Hey, y'all got my locks. Look, girl, I got your earrings bumping today. We hustling.
Oh, yeah, I got your lock sprinkles in. Yeah, I got my locks.
Just so y'all don't know, we are part of Empire by Design, which is a company that I do, and I love building my empire with empires. Adesuwa Joe, Yaga My Locks, the Sweet Spot, shout out, Sweat Synergy, shout out. We have what COC Socials, Aphrodisiac Design. We are coming hard 2025, y'all. Just keep an eye out. We're working quietly under the radar, doing what we got to do. But you know, Adesuwa is one of the fastest growing, I would say, in terms of international presence, where she's really out there. She landed a massive contract with the naval base. Like, who'd have thunk? Wanted African decor. Like, it was pretty cool, right? There's so much great things happening for my CEOs that, you know, it leads into this conversation here when we talk about the potential benefits. Like, what do you feel were some of the potential benefits of global expansion?
Seeing things in a different eye. And usually when we go to purchase things, we just take out our money and we buy it. But we really don't think about the steps or the journey that that product took to come here.
Yes.
And sometimes the product didn't even take a journey, but they're charging you this much, right? So it's about bringing something from across the world globally, but also making it affordable, just like fashion clothes. You don't have to spend $1,000 to look good. You can spend $10 and just accessorize. So my main thing is to bring quality and handmade items, but to make it affordable and for everyone. It's not a color thing. You don't have to be black or brown skin to enjoy anything that Impressing has. As long as you enjoy culture, heritage, it's for everyone.
It's for everyone. And, you know, I think part of that expansion, you just mentioned it, you had to learn about yourself a little bit more.
Yes.
You know, you love the culture, but you wanted to figure out, how do I reflect, you know, the culture? And I think a big part of that conversation is listening to your inner self in terms of knowing what you want to do. And I'm speaking to all the other business owners out here, and we're here to have that conversation with you today.
Yes.
Is to really ask yourself, what would be those key challenges that you're going to encounter when you're trying to go global? And a lot of it comes down to knowing what exactly you want. Like, you know, I mean, we're hearing Adesuwa talk about it. My dress is all curved up here. Oh, okay, there we go. The dress is going left and I was going right. Yeah, but when we talk about the challenges on just the day-to-day stuff for local, like, I mean, look how many meetings we sat through, weekly sales meetings where we're talking about reach, we're talking about engagement, right? We're talking about how many people have you impacted this week. And I think a big part of that comes when you're thinking about, like, if you can't reach people here, you have to ask yourself, how am I going to reach people out there, right?
Yes.
Let's go to my favorite topic, IG. You know, the Bible to many. Did you feel that played a big part of it, or did you feel that getting out there, touching, shaking hands, you know, really helped you to take your business across the ocean?
Okay.
And lakes and rivers and valleys, ponds.
So social media does help, but the issue is, if it ever goes down, which it's done it a couple times, you have to know, how do you reach somebody across the pond or wherever if you're only relying on social media, right? So also building like a network of verbal communication, email, phone calls, like just going right back to phone calls and just reaching out. Now, I don't like making cold calls. But well, there's more than one.
Voice notes.
Voice notes are different.
If everyone in the world could get a voice note from Adesuwa. Hey, Mom.
Hi, that's Dante. Oh, hi. How are you? Yeah. So, but the main thing is just sometimes you need to go back to the basics. So it helped me. Then it also hindered me, because in the beginning I really didn't understand it much. So
Right.
it was like starting a business and, oh, you have to be on social media to build the presence. I really got discombobulated. But once I
Mm,
started to understand it, and it's a work in progress, you still have to continue to um, try to navigate. But once
right.
I start putting things into place and making them talk to one another, then things started to, you
Pick
know,
up.
to pick up from there.
Yeah. I mean, we used to talk about um, the community, and I'm not used to. We still do, and we're always trying to continue to grow our communities. And
Yes.
when you thought about your community and how, and I'm not talking about the consumer community.
Yes.
I want to talk a little bit about the artist community.
Yes.
What do you feel was the buy-in for them, in buying into the in-person community as an artist?
The authenticity, because a lot of the times when I do actually meet with them, whether it's in person, eventually I meet them in person, but even if it's over video or whatever, a
Hmm.
few of them have mentioned people talk at us. They
Yes.
just want to get in there and get whatever they can and leave. But they said the one thing that sets me apart, which I never asked, which is beautiful, is I speak to them, I communicate with
Mm,
them, right?
nice,
And
nice.
even if I'm not purveying something with them, the fact that they took time, I always try to compensate them just a little bit, buy them lunch or dinner or something. It goes a long way.
Mhm.
So it's small little things like that that they appreciate and remember, so that when they
Right.
do have something, my phone's ringing off the hook. Hey, do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? So
Mhm.
it's about building the relationship.
So, are they not your like sole suppliers? Do they supply for other companies and stuff as well?
A lot of them make just for their own selves and they sell in marketplaces. So what I'm trying
Okay.
to do is hone in on them so that if I need something specific, as long as I'm guaranteeing them, hey, I need this amount, they'll reduce the price drastically, or they'll
Mhm.
go out of their way. If they can't reduce the price, they'll go out of their way to like burn the candle on both ends to get a deadline in if I require something. So it's again about community, and a lot of them call me auntie, or because I'm older than them, ma,
Mhm.
or whatever,
So they're
granny.
not calling you like hot girl. Right, right, Brooklyn. I'm trying to get in trouble in Canada, honey. Yes.
But that's the thing, a lot of them don't even realize who they're speaking to unless it comes up and I say my grandchildren, and they'll be like, what did you
Yeah,
say?
girl, you looking
Yeah.
young. We don't crack. You know what I'm saying? Only on a Saturday if we had a party on a Friday. We're
Right,
pretty good. We're
so
pretty good with it. We're pretty good with it. Yeah,
yes.
when you speak about these artists who are and it seems like based on what you're saying when you're saying they're burning the candles at both ends,
Yes.
these are not big manufacturers who are just
No.
pumping out product.
No.
These are handmade, right? If
Correct.
I'm correct, right? So
Yes.
if you are purchasing something and if you are shopping for something unique, I'm shouting this out now. You need to get your hands on her product. My husband's consistently looking at the site, trying. He takes forever to purchase anything because it has to be like the vision.
Yes.
He has to see it. You know what I mean? And I'm
Yes.
all for it because it makes our house look amazing. But definitely, what I love about the fact is that you're not going global for the money. You're
No.
going global for the cause, and that is, increasing the footprint of these authentic pieces here.
Correct.
That
Yes.
and so, how do you feel that's resonating with your audience now, with your market?
Well, just even up to today, I haven't even looked at it, but somebody asked for a piece and I had it made because it was sold out.
Hmm.
I sent it to them. They're in the UK and they tagged me like, "Oh my goodness, I thought you told me it was sold out, but I'm so happy that you were able to give it to me and you didn't charge me extra." Because literally, like the fact that somebody really wanted something, I wanted to go out of my way because they missed it by literally half a day. Right? So knowing that people authentically like it, and then they either write me, send me a video or something, then I know at the end of the day I can rest because I've made at least one person happy. Right?
Oh, that's
Right?
good.
So
Well, I'd like you to make more than one person happy a day. Thank you. As your
I know.
business coach, you need to be making more than one person happy.
Yes.
But I definitely see where you're going. Definitely. I mean, I feel the same way when I get off coaching. And, when I have, like, my business is going global, I have people in Netherlands and people in US and, other various places. And
Right.
one of the things that I think, we have the ability to go global now because it's easier.
Correct.
Right? We have the platforms, we have the tools, we have the trainings, we have all of this stuff. One of the things I guess, I want to get your take on is when you're thinking about ways to adapt your product or your service to cater to these diverse cultural needs, because you speak to the fact that you're more of a boutique type setting.
Yes.
Right? What are some of those preferences? Like, how do you manage to adapt, with these pieces?
That's a good question.
I know I tend to ask amazing questions because
Yeah.
I'm fabulous.
I'm in the hot seat right now.
Well, and Brooklyn is laughing, so I'm glad that he's not trying to get on a flight to come and book me up. Hey, welcome. Look, Tara Glanville's in the building. Tara's vegan
looking
cuisine.
26.
Looking 26,
Thank you, Tara.
Yes, yes. Just beautiful and vibrant. She says you're vibrant. Yes. So
okay, rephrase that question for me.
Okay, no problem. So if we're talking about, like, we talked about the D Corp component, the boutique of it.
Yes.
How did you come about to make any specific adjustments to fit your local market? Like, how did you think about Captured by Shani's in the building? Yo, all the ladies came out to play today. Hey, hey, whoop, whoop. How did the conversations you've been having with your target audience, right?
Yes.
You said it influenced you to a certain extent. What were some of those things that helped you to kind of figure out how you're going to adapt to what their needs were?
So when I was considered a gift shop, the items were still the same, but the approach was different.
Right.
Then I had a couple people asking for specific pieces. And then there was my number one piece that I sold around Christmas time, which was Black Power. And I wanted to make sure that this piece went to a good home. It was sitting there for a good while, maybe because of the price. I don't know, but the price was what it was because I still have to get paid for purveying it, bringing it up, and everything like that. And it found its home to a Black activist. So Black Power went there, and it was the drive of when people want something specific, they're coming to me.
Right.
And so it's like if I have 1, 2, 3, or 5 people that I know have connections and would want the stuff, and they're already sharing it with people and they don't have the item as yet, why not? So I went from a gift shop to a boutique, making it a little bit more upscale. And instead of having a lot of product, I'd rather have less. And if you need something, then I special order it.
Nice. Do you have any, like, the mere fact that you're purchasing from Ghana?
Yes.
Do you find that you have, and I believe you have a business down there as well, right? That you also have, yes, honey.
Yes.
Global, honey. Let me tell you, this girl's jet setting.
Yes, we actually have
The Real Housewife
restaurant
of Ghana, honey. Yes. So you have a restaurant.
Yes.
And so how do you see, for example, you doing business down there with Empressing? Like, what's your plans? I'm getting all up in your business now because I can't.
Oh no, that's okay. Because you guys will enjoy me for the next maybe 5 years or so, because I want to do early retirement. So by the time I'm 60-ish, which is like
or 30-ish, because you're
Yeah.
26 right now.
But I want to be able to come and go because I do have children and grandchildren. But I think I would be more successful down there because then I'll be the eyes and the hands on the ground,
Right.
right? And be able to look for more better pieces, maybe better pricing, even though my prices are amazing. Like I've been told that I'm undercharging, but
Yeah, well,
it's not about the money. It's about
yes.
making connections and building the network. And
Mm,
then in a year or two, then it has to go up, and that's it.
it's gonna
If you
go from
can't
there.
afford it, then I will actually do a payment plan. Like I never want to make things so high that nobody can achieve it. Like if
Yes.
you, instead of maybe having a drink or smoking 5 packs of cigarettes, save your money, save up and buy it if you really want a
Not the
piece, right?
cigarettes.
So,
She told y'all get your life together, honey. You better save that 1994. 5 packs, that's a whole piece.
but that's the thing. I've had somebody come to me and say, I really like this piece. And it wasn't expensive. It was about $100, but they said they
Mhm.
didn't have the money while smoking. And while we
Mm.
had a conversation for 5 minutes, they smoked 3 times. Like, right?
Mm.
So it's like, that's why I made that reference. Like, you have to kind of decide, do you want a piece for your home or do you want to smoke? Because they really wanted a discount and I can't
Wasn't
offer
having,
that.
wasn't
No,
having it.
no.
You're importing things. You're bringing things in. I
Yes,
know that you do a lot of back and forth in communication.
yes.
How did that impact moving away from what's here and bring importing? How did that impact the pricing and even just the ordering? Like, was it longer or, shorter?
Well, in terms of the ordering, I have it down using post. I can have it maybe in about 2 weeks. The main thing
Mhm.
is, if I'm not the one actually purchasing it, then it takes a lot longer because you got to do video, text messages, and all this.
Right.
But other than that, I still find it's much better to import it that way,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
You're
Why did
always
you
going to have
choose?
costs. Mhm.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
That's okay.
Why did you choose that particular? Like, how did you? Let me reframe that. How did you, or what market research did you perform? There it is.
Market research.
Yes. Did you perform to choose the country or the regions that you're buying this product from?
Well, I've done my research on Global Affairs Canada. I
Hmm.
usually go there and check every now and then.
Nice.
But it's in my travels of actually going. So I've had
Mhm.
stuff from Nigeria, mainly Ghana right now, because that's where I frequent mostly. But I
Yeah.
also had stuff from Nairobi, Kenya as well. So I want to then take more time. And when I do travel, maybe split my time and go different places because
Right.
Africa is more than Ghana, but that's
Hmm.
just where I frequent now. And I'm building the relationship there. And then I will hop
Hmm. You'll
across
start to
the
expand.
continent.
That's it. And I'm in the suitcase for that one. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Let's talk about problem solving.
Okay.
What were some of the pivots that you thought you made? Because we talked a little bit about challenges.
Hmm.
I want to circle back to how did you pivot on them?
So pivoting. Hmm.
I like to hit people with the heavy hitters. If you are now coming in while you're thinking about that, welcome. If you're coming in too, welcome to Love the Afrobeat Music Talk Radio with your girl, Ms.Jai, hostess of the weekly show, Business Weekly. Each and every week, I am not just bringing to you tips, tools, and techniques, but I'm bringing to you drive, resilience, innovation, and progression in the form of the interviews that we hold. We know if you're coming in, you're now hearing about going global. So we're sitting here with Adesuwa Joe Campbell, the founder and CEO of Empressing. Make sure you're following her on IG. Check out the website, empressing.com. We're talking a little bit about how and why she decided to go global and very early into the game. She's been in business for quite some time. And, over the past year that we've been working together, I know that has been, really heavy on her heart in order to do that. So if you're just tuning in, make sure you hit the replay to take her in from the beginning, but we still have a lot of conversation to go. So please ask questions. As you can see at the bottom, you can text us at 437-778-3299. You can talk to us in the chat, whatever is clever. Shout outs to all those who are on the show. I've seen the Sweet Spot come in. We have Brooklyn all the way from Ghana here. So, I mean, this is how we do it right here on Lambe, honey. We are in 128 plus countries. So if you're calling in, make sure you ask. We will deliver. I'm always looking to give you the best of the journey of those CEOs going through. So getting back to you, Miss Adesuwa.
Yes, rephrase that again, please.
We rephrase. Me just get on here and give big speech. To give you time, you want to come tell me you don't know what you're talking.
How did I pivot?
Yeah. So for example, okay, so name a challenge and then maybe how you pivoted with that challenge. That might be a better way to
okay. So
there we go.
Okay.
I wasn't talking the language. Hey,
yes. So you weren't talking my language.
I gotta get off my language skills here.
So I'm sure almost every entrepreneur has had this happen is you start a business and you want to do everything under the sun. You start here, then you have another idea, you move here, and you want to do everything. So I guess my biggest challenge, and then later on where I had to pivot, was I had a lot of little things, not that the little things didn't make a difference, but I had too many things. So what I decided to do, which was best, is get rid of the smaller, less like the things that aren't moving as quick, and concentrate on bigger things, and then put things more into collections. So that's where I had to pivot. And where that comes from is my mindset. I had to change my mindset. As in, you can't do everything. Slow your roll, do one thing at a time, and connect the dots. So that's how I had to pivot.
Love that. You had to go down there, and you're buying from artists in Africa.
Yes.
Talk to me about the strategies you use to build a network of those local artists and whatnot, and partnerships in these markets.
Okay, so when I do go down, for any ones that are new, I make sure I leave my contact information, my Instagram. If they're not on there, I make them go onto Instagram, because why I say I make them
there.
Why I say that is because I'm busy trying to move their product and bring it so everyone can see it. So it's no good if I'm doing all this work and posting about their stuff and they don't even see it. But the fact that when they finally do get on, even if it's not Instagram, because you got to keep up with Instagram. Yes. So Facebook, for an example, once they're on Facebook and they see their stuff, you see a light in their eyes, like, that's my stuff. Because even though they're working on it, they really don't see it. It's when it leaves the country and they see somebody else's face beaming. Wow. It's like, I did that. Oh my goodness, you're right. So I think building that kind of communication is great. And like I mentioned earlier, even if I don't buy from them that day or this month or whatever, I still check up on them. I find out if they're having any issues. Is there any questions that maybe I can answer? Right. And sometimes they just want to hear what they would call a foreigner, or they call me Obruni, which means white woman. They want to hear what Obruni has to say, because I'm from North America, right? So I don't know.
What's going on, girl? You need to get into the sun.
I made a post on my Instagram one time. I'm walking through, the markets, and somebody says, "Is that a white woman?" And I'm looking back, and just because of my complexion and my accent, they know, okay, I'm not from there. So that's what they call me, but I don't get offended.
Yeah, no,
you shouldn't.
You shouldn't. I mean, because you are Mama Africa to us here. So that's all that matters.
That's it. That's it.
You're bringing that magic around here. When you think about the partnerships that you're building and those who are getting into getting global, here's a few things I want you to think about. And please feel free to weigh in on this, Adesso. But we're now talking to you as business owners. Think about the networking efforts in the countries you're trying to go into. It's definitely something to find those communities. I know Virgette always says, shout out to the COT, she always says, you know what, hashtags are your biggest communities because they are, right? So some of the things that I know, Desiree, you were doing was really checking those communities where people would be of interest. Like, for example, you talk to realtors, right?
Yes.
A concept that you thought would be, and I totally agree with it in terms of reaching out because these are people who sell homes. And where does your accessories go? In homes. And so if you are looking to start to build that expansion, it doesn't have to be a multi-million dollars to expand. Expanding typically just means you're really looking to expand within the market that you serve, right? So we know with all the things that are happening with tariffs and tariffs and politics right now, but that shouldn't stop you from reaching your goals to reach people outside of your local area or your local market. What are your thoughts when it comes to the benefits of these local collaborations that you're making or the partnerships that you're making in Ghana?
The benefits is they kind of become family at some point in time. So it's nice that if I go there, they reach out, they come to me, they embrace me. When I come back, they ask, how are you doing? How's your family doing? Um, and it's just about community, whether it's going to be there or somewhere else within the continent. And most importantly, here as well, too. It's just about, for me, building community. I like to be able to go out and people know me by name and they never have to buy. It's just the fact that they know who I am. Eventually, those connections will take place. And that's
Mhm.
even kind of like what's happened with me now on the 18th. On the 17th, I did a collaboration, and it's because we knew each other, like we knew the same, like different people in the same circle, but we didn't
Mhm.
know one another. And now
Right.
I have a collaboration with Ghana and a tour company. So I'm going to be providing the welcome gifts when they arrive at the airport. So
Love
I'm
that.
going to be supplying the they're called Secrets of Ghana tours.
Mhm.
So I'll be supplying them. So it's about just
Oh,
making the little connections that
little connections that
brings
turn
you.
into big and long term, right?
Yes,
Because I mean, if they're building
that's
their
it.
business at that pace,
Yes,
then your the need for you just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
correct. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay. I want to thank you, Odessa. Look at that. You nailed today. Yeah.
Thank
Y'all need
you.
to know Odessa is terrified in the past of coming on camera and speaking live. But she is turning the dial because
Uh,
why she is leveling up
Thank
her
you,
trip.
COC. Thank you.
I want to thank you for coming on, Adesuwa.
Thank you so
I want
much
you
for
to stay in
having
the
me.
green room. Don't leave until I come by and see you before you go. Okay.
Okay,
But we'll talk to the peoples. And as always, what do we say? Keep your head in the skies, spread your wings,
then let's
and let's.
fly.
We'll talk to you later. Thanks for
Okay.
coming out. Take
Thank
care.
you.
So, if you are just joining, please hit the replay. We had an amazing discussion about going global. And I brought on a CEO who's very early in the game and stages of her business, who's trying to and making it happen. Adesuwa has been consistent in her practice. She's been committed to the dream. And now she's building the community to help her and the people that she serves to reach global status. And let me tell you, it's not easy, but it takes a lot of patience and it takes a lot of and this dress we're just gonna throw it away later, but it takes a lot of patience and energy. So whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur or you're a seasoned business owner, this episode is packed with practical tips and the inspiration for you to start thinking about where is your journey next. I know after talking to Adesuwa, and even though I'm her coach, I still learn so much from these amazing clients that I have. As I said, No matter where you are, no matter where you go, you need a community. And that's how the global expansion starts. So don't miss tuning in every week with me, your girl, Ms.Jai, right here on Business Weekly on Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. And don't forget to vote. I mean, at the end of the day, change is made by one vote. And so make sure that you're getting out there, you're hitting the polls. If you missed the advanced polls, make sure you're getting out there on April 28th. We also have some Love Bay events coming up, the Voices of the Millennium, which I am honored to be a keynote speaker at, will be happening in July. We're starting to put out information. I want you to help and support. This is really an event that's going to help kids to reduce their financial challenges going into post-secondary education. And we know all of our children need to be in the times and trends of the academic world so that they can make the best of themselves and to continue building the generational wealth that we are building today. Make sure you subscribe to the Love Bay channel. I also will be uploading these on my website, so if you need to get a hold of them, they will be there. I have so much new things coming down the pipe. I can't wait to share with you. I'm so super behind because I've been working and helping out to get people out there and voting. And so without further ado, I want to ensure that you are following me as well on Empire by Design _ on IG. You can also catch me, Ms.Jai Wholeness, on LinkedIn. I'm always looking for new and innovative guests to come on and to have conversations that impact our communities. I specifically love talking to my Black communities because why? I know that the talent is there and now we just need to work on the 3 C's. We need to work on our commitment, we need to work on our consistency, and we need to work on our community. Well, until then, enjoy the next show that's coming up. And don't forget to check out all the other amazing shows on Love Bay. Go to the YouTube channel or click on Love Bay Radio online and you can listen live and keep in the know. Without all of that being said, I want you to have an amazing evening. I want you to get out there, crush your goals. I want you to keep on taking the steps, reaching milestones, and exhausting procrastination because it's about to get tired. And as I say to all my ladies, I'll see you at the top because the bottom's too crowded. My name's Ms.Jai, and I want to say have a wonderful evening from myself and my team at Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. Have a good one.